Hi, Satnam. I just want to say first, thank you so much for attending mine or all of the classes that we made available for free for the Metta charity fundraiser that we decided to put together. Me and my sister decided to put this together because my friend Johnny in Chiang Mai runs something called Metta Charity. He's Burmese himself, and he has taken it upon himself to help Burmese refugees running from Burma because there's been a civil war there for the last 60 years, and sometimes it's just not safe in certain areas. So people, families, they run to Thailand and they start working. Um, it's really wonderful. They work hard, everything's good. However, they don't make a lot of money. So when Thailand went on lockdown, like everywhere else, um, nobody was making any money, and they're literally Burmese people starving. Their children are like crying because their stomachs hurt so much. So I felt really compelled to tell my sister, and then my sister came up with, hey, why don't we do a fundraiser? And we know lots of yoga teachers, let's do this. So super glad for everyone who decided to be a part of this. I'm so happy that you decided to take some of your time out to enjoy all of the lovely yoga that we're offering this weekend, and also to help out. So you can donate at our GoFundMe link, which I will add, or you can also go to metacharity@gmail.com in your PayPal and just send whatever you can. The GoFundMe is a minimum of $5. The Gmail you can, like the PayPal, you can put whatever you want in there. So thank you for any donations. And if you don't have the money, that's okay. Please enjoy our free yoga. It's for everybody. So I thought it would be timely to talk about the hungry ghost, especially during this time when we were all in lockdown. We were all, like most people are pretty afraid. I was really uncertain about the future in a way I've never felt uncertain before. Um, and that I did notice that it made me want to do things I haven't done in a really long time, like eat comfort food. That was really strange. It was like I had this insane anxiety trying to get home because I was living in Vietnam when all of this happened. And once I got home, I had some days of jet lag, and then I just was like, ice cream, cake, bleh, bleh, bleh. And I was like, whoa, what am I doing? Like, I haven't done this since, like, in decades. So, what's going on? And I've done a lot of research on the hungry ghost. So I started to look back into that, and I just recognized that this uncertainty made me feel afraid, and so I wanted to eat. And when I was able to honor the fear and the things that I went through, it was easy to stop that because I could look into, what was going on with me. So I thought I'd bring it to the table today. I also have a few kundalini exercises that have helped me in those times when I'm like, I'm going to eat the cake, or I'm going to have a drink, or I'm going to do something that I don't really want to do, but I feel compulsed to do it. This is what the hungry ghost is. So you may have found that, some of your habits have been bad, and you're not really happy about it. And now, even though things are starting to ease up, you're still not able to kick whatever habits you may have developed. It might even be like you watch way too much Netflix. So we call it the hungry ghost realm. And it may have taken over your life, and maybe you're finding it really difficult to come back to center. So, to me, the hungry ghost has been a really good way to understand why habits and behaviors can take over our lives. It's a character. He's this guy in Buddhist cosmology. He's got this tiny little head, a little throat that's really long, and this huge belly the size of a mountain. So even like a pea going into his throat would be tight and hard to digest. And then, of course, when a pea falls into a stomach the size of a mountain, there is no fulfillment. And so this is a good way of looking at the hungry ghost, is we try to feed this ghost, which is a part of our psyche. It's a part of us that desires things. So the hungry ghost, he'll never be fulfilled. So I think we can really identify with that as well. Like, you can do the things that you feel compulsed to do to cover up a feeling or to get fulfillment, but it's really not going to fill you up. All of these things that are like instant gratification, they will never fill you up. So you'll have a really hard time, because a lot of these things aren't good for you. Like, it isn't great to overeat because you don't feel right. It's not great to eat too much sugar or too much of this and that. It's not great to drink to numb yourself. Not great at all. The thing is all of these things may seem okay, but when they're not in moderation, they can become much more dangerous afflictions in your life. Like, you can end up addicted to alcohol, to prescription medications, to things like gambling or men or shopping. You can become addicted to perfection. All of these things are actually the hungry ghost. Anyway, but I will go through. There is, two different kinds of sort of instant gratification. You've got your acceptable substitute gratifications. So this is, let's use it as an example as a really, in an unhappy marriage. Maybe the point is that the marriage is unhappy. The woman might strive to have an amazing garden and like freak out if any animals or any person goes near her garden, because this is the one thing that makes her feel good, and so she's just ignoring the fact that she feels terrible and creating this beautiful garden to try to cover up things, to try to feel fulfilled. Anyway, there's success, there's being a workaholic, there's being virtuous. These are all substance gratifications that everybody's like, wow, good job. So you're kind of getting a double whammy on that. It's like you feel good because you're covering up your lack of fulfillment, and you're also getting rewarded from other people. These unmet needs that we do are the need to feel good about ourselves and worthwhile, because we don't sometimes, right? And either way, it's the hungry ghost that pushes us to prove ourselves or to improve ourselves. We checking things off the list, rushing around. These are socially acceptable things that we do to hide from the truth of the things we don't feel good about. Then you've got your substance gratifications that aren't socially acceptable, which are usually not good for you. They're usually things that you hide from people. But in a way, they're easier to get through, because you can at least see, if I continue on with this behavior, really bad things are going to happen to me. My liver's going to fail. My relationships are going to fail. I'm going to get really heavy, and I don't want that, right? So there's a negative outcome. So we're far more likely to look into the unacceptable gratifications. So this would obviously be drinking, gambling, a sex addiction. There's still unmet needs, and there's something that's more primitive here, and it's a deep wound. So as long as we continue to pursue the hungry ghost, we're not getting any closer to fixing any of the habits. So I'm just going to talk to you now about the 3 levels of suffering when you're in the hungry ghost realm. So it's a bit of a circle, right? So the first arrow is that the fix is temporary. Whatever it is that you do to make yourself feel better, it's a temporary fix. The substitutes that you're using aren't going to fill you up at all. The second arrow is that then you don't like yourself. This is where this self-aversion and this self-hate is you can't trust yourself. You hate yourself. Why did you do that? Etc., etc. Beating yourself up. Like when you eat the cookie's eaten. You really can't do anything about that. But then to beat yourself up over it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make you not eat the cookie again, like if you had another chance to take that moment back. In fact, this second arrow of this self-aversion and this self-hate and the guilt will make you eat 10 cookies more often than not. Otherwise, just saying, hey, you know what? I ate a damn cookie. And at least looking into that, like, okay, what made me just pick up that cookie without thinking about it and smash it down? I didn't even think about it. I didn't even really appreciate it. What just happened there? What was that feeling? What did someone do around me? What memory did I just have to trigger me eating this cookie when I kind of said today I wouldn't eat cookies? I mean, there is nothing wrong with eating a cookie, of course, but it's, it's a personal thing. When you know that you've done something for the wrong reasons, looking at it instead of beating yourself up is going to be much more productive and allow you to get closer to that deeper meaning, that deeper reason to why you're doing what you're doing. So yeah, the self-aversion, it keeps you in the loop, and the more you hate yourself, it creates a greater unmet need, which makes you have a greater need to soothe yourself. You experience this shame and suffering, and you have to address that shame if you want to ease the grasp of the hungry ghost on yourself. And the third arrow is that you lose moments. You're not present when you're in this hungry ghost loop. You don't see the world anymore. You lose the moments, and it's this, when you're on your way somewhere else, you're postponing life on the way to the finish line. You're in this trance that something is missing, and this means that you're missing out on the beautiful moments, because if you're just present in this moment, then you're actually going to recognize that it's all that you need, and you can find that fulfillment like right now. You can find it. It's there for you. When we're looking to the future, when we're talking or thinking about the past, we're much more able to fall into the hungry ghost realm. So I really like Sakriya. This is a kundalini exercise that really allows you to be inside your body. First, we're going to tune in. This is just where, for me, it's like you make the practice superpowered by calling in the teachers from the past. Obviously, kundalini is thousands of years old, so we're calling upon that wisdom from the teachers before us. And we're also calling upon the wisdom that exists within us. So, just get you to rub your hands. Bring your palms to your heart. Bow to your heart. Inhale. Bring your head up and slightly tuck your chin. Exhale. Release any tension. We're going to inhale and exhale to start. It's Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. 2 more times. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Okay. So Sat Kriya is said to be one of the most powerful practices in Kundalini. It is quintessential. It is something you can do every day. You can start with just 3 minutes, and it comes with a chant, Satnam, which is all about your true self. Um, it's important to be inside of your body when we're dealing with the hungry ghost. In fact, the next time you have like a serious compulsion, everybody's different. Like, I felt like a complete prisoner in my habits and compulsions in the past, and maybe you do as well. So what I would suggest is, before doing the thing, take a deep breath and just exhale and just relax, because the tension that you're feeling from trying to like resist going with the compulsion is pushing you or pulling you closer to the compulsion. And I might even suggest that you do this practice. Just, it's like you're just asking yourself, you're going within and you're like, who am I? What is my truth? So yeah, I'll just say this. It's important to be inside of your body, to be within and to be centered. Part of the reason that the hungry ghost can take over is because we don't have a sense of our true self. We don't really know what fulfills us. And if we do, we're not like going for that thing, because it might be a little bit harder than instant gratification. So we feel like we don't belong. And the one thing that we can do is realize that we are deeper than our afflictions, than our habits, or our addictions. We're bigger than it. This higher self that we have, we can look down on all of these thoughts that the ego is throwing at us and just be like, I don't think I'm going to fall into that. So I really want you to meditate on the idea of who you truly are. Does this true you require any of these things you try to fill yourself up with? As we chant Satnam, what we're chanting is, truth is my essence. Sat means truth and Nam means name. I am truth. So we're bringing our palms together like this. We're actually going to go onto our knees like this. If this is uncomfortable, you can just cross your legs. That's okay too. So bringing your hands overhead, palms to touch. You want your elbows to be touching your ears if possible. Just close your eyes. Focus on the third eye, just at that brow point. And we're just going to chant Sat. And as you say Sat, you want to bring in your stomach, just pulling up the energy from the root chakra. So Sat. And then Nam, imagine that energy coming out of your crown. So we're going to continue here for the next few minutes. Sat, Nam, 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 Sat, Nam. And keep on going at your own pace. Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam. Pull your belly in on the Sat. Sat, Nam. Release the energy from the crown on the Nam. Sat, Nam. Just one more minute. Keep focusing on the brow point, focusing on your truth. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Don't have them tensing up to the ears. That's where the pain might come from. Beautiful. Inhale, hold the pose, pull the root locks, the sexual organs, the anus, bring in the lower abdomens, really pull this energy up, up, up from the root and out of the crown. Exhale, but hold the pose. Keep your eyes closed. Inhale, pull the root lock, hold the breath. Exhale, and one more time. We're going to inhale, pull the root lock, get that energy up and out of the root and out of the crown chakra. Really pull it out, pull it out, pull it out. Exhale, bring the back of your hands together and slowly sweep them down. Beautiful. I just want you to keep your eyes closed. I'm going to address a few things to you that I'd like you to think about as you keep your eyes closed. Just meditate on this. As I've been talking, have you been able to identify what triggers you, what feelings exactly trigger you? It's important that we be with the shame and offer compassion for whatever that is for you. What would be the message from your higher self about your shame of the habit, the affliction, or the addiction? What does your higher self know every time you go to reach for the thing or do the thing that you don't want to be doing? What part of you stops for a moment? That part of you, what do you want to say to the ego? Especially when you're beating yourself up over doing the thing. Offering that message from your higher self allows you to be with the shame. Don't try to change the habit, but try to witness it instead. Help that shame place. Find a way to forgive yourself and acknowledge your efforts. We can't just try to stop habits dead in their tracks a lot of the time. And if we do, we'll feel good for a little while, but then if we go back and do something again, then we can really rock bottom. So it's really important to take the opportunities as they arise. When you start to feel compelled to do something, like that you maybe shouldn't, look inside and find where this is coming from. Just take that 1 minute. That's the first step towards getting rid of a habit. Ask yourself, what are you really wanting? When you want the thing, what is it that you really want? See, we're looking for a feeling from a cookie, or from somebody we really wanted to messaging us. We get that dopamine hit, and we can get those as well in a more natural way when we, look to what we want to experience. So when you're going after something, what is it you want to experience? What is it you want to feel? Usually it's relief from when you crave something and then you get the thing that you crave, you feel a sense of relief. So what does that feel like for you? What is the feeling you hope to achieve when you go for the habit? When you eat the chocolate bar for emotional reasons? When you strive to get people to see you in a certain way? What is that feeling that you want to feel? Like when someone really appreciates you and you've been trying to get their attention. What's that feeling? So some further reflection. Think about some way that you regularly get hooked into a habit, pattern, or behavior, and then how you turn on yourself because of it. Taking a moment to really contact the place of shame and self-aversion and be with that feeling. Can you sense what it most needs? You might experience with a soothing gesture of kindness, a hand on your heart or on your cheek. If right now you could offer yourself one message from this highest, most evolved part of yourself to that painful place of shame that you feel, what would be the most helpful message? What does that shame place need to hear right now? You can be your own best friend, and that really helps ease the grasp of the hungry ghost with any affliction that you're experiencing in life. I'm going to add some more information as well. There's some questions that you can ask yourself. So just get like a pen and paper when you have some time, and I'll have these questions for you that you might want to ask. This allows you to really get in touch with those habits and what you might be seeking for underneath those layers. What's the true you really looking to feel? Maybe you miss being a kid. You know what? Maybe you miss feeling safe and happy in your own backyard on the lawn as a child. And that makes you want to do these things as an adult, but you're never going to get that feeling for very long. And maybe you just need to go into the backyard, kick off your shoes, and lay on the lawn and look at clouds go by. Maybe it really is that simple. Again, thank you very much. These are supposed to be short classes, so I've gone over, I've got to go. But I really want to thank you so much. So many people appreciate you tuning in, watching this, donating, sharing this with your friends. This is going to be on Friday and Saturday in North America, Saturday, Sunday in Asia and Australia. So enjoy. I'm just going to close. Bring your palms to your heart, bow to your heart. Exhale. Inhale. And on the exhale, we'll do one long sat down. Sa.